By some measures, the U.S. housing market is short by many millions of homes in order to fulfill the demand from new home and resale home uh, markets. So, what is the solution to this? What is the reason for it? Well, this is a really good article from Investopedia that talks about three factors that have gone into creating the shortage of homes over the last decade. The first factor started out in 2010 when the housing market crashed after the financial crisis. Many home builders got out of the market. They stopped being a business. They basically went bankrupt or they closed because nobody was buying new houses. Many builders had put money into investments of homes that failed, so they were basically bankrupt. So it took many, many years for builders to come back into the marketplace. Some people who are skilled tradespeople and skilled craftsmen stopped working in the construction industry and they retired or went to do something else. And then when the demand started to come back 5 to 6 years later, 2016, 2017, they were already moved on to something else. So the backlog of skilled tradespeople and construction companies was thinned out by then. So it took a while to get it ramped up. And then what happened is in 2019, there was a huge wave of demand from people because of the pandemic that wanted to buy a different house and move to a different area, move to the suburbs. And so prices went up dramatically. Prices went up from an average price of about $220,000 to about $450,000. At the same time, interest rates went from 2% to 7%. So now all of a sudden in 2020, instead of a mortgage payment on an average house being about 11. You will be back in your video in just a few seconds. In the meantime, remember that actualhuman.com offers you live one-on-one private video consultation with an expert in this exact subject. We want to listen to your story. We want to hear your questions. We want to give you expert advisement of your options and tell you what we know about your particular situation. Now back to your video. $100, now it's about $3,500, 3 times. What that did was it made it so that new home construction again was slowed down because builders didn't want to take the risk of building these houses and not being able to sell them. Then you had a pipeline problem, a supply line problem, where the supply chain for things like lumber, paint, materials, building supplies, and nails, everything was backed up again because of the pandemic, but also because of inflation. So it was tough to get inventory of these items. Plus the lumber prices went through the roof. At one point, lumber prices were, $400 to $500 per thousand board feet. Then they were at one point $1,500 per thousand board feet. That created a problem. And then the last thing that happened was you started to have permitting problems and labor shortage problems. So there has never been a good catch up of the home building for the last 15, almost 20 years. And that's created a shortage of homes. How can that be fixed? Well, it's not an overnight fix. Building a house is not like, building a pen that you want to sell more pens, or even building a car. You can build a car in a week or so at a factory. Houses take, months and months of planning, zoning, laying out lot lines, permitting, surveys, getting construction materials, getting equipment, then building the house can take 3 or 4 months. It could be a year from start to finish. So it doesn't happen overnight. And during that year, if anything bad happens with the economy, the builders pull back. This is why there's a shortage of homes. There's not an easy fix to it. A lot of people say, well, change the zoning so you don't have to have only single family zoning. That's not going to change all the other problems. So this housing shortage is kind of here to stay. And it's making home ownership a lot more difficult because of how much more it costs and the limit of available inventory. Thank you for watching another episode of Actual Human Advisory on Describe TV. Remember, we have live one-on-one consultation appointments available at actualhuman.com, where you can book a one-on-one undivided attention live call with a licensed investigator, a licensed insurance broker, a licensed mortgage broker, real estate broker,
I'm also a certified real estate title examiner, a certified civil court mediator, along with having developed and started over 15 businesses, several of which were sold for millions of dollars. So if you do have questions in any of those categories, you can arrange a one-on-one live video consultation. Use the link below, and we'll see you on the next video.